4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, folks, welcome back to the Trauma Therapist Podcast. Guy McPherson here, and I am very excited to have as my guest today, Effy Huck. Effy, welcome.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for being here. So Effy is a survivor of C-PTSD, an entrepreneur and the founder of Sisu, that's spelled S-I-S-U. Sisu is a trauma-informed, self-guided mental health toolkit to manage anxiety, panic, and stress. She created this mobile application from her own experiences, healing, as well as seeing a need from her work volunteering for the crisis text line, and as well as education. The app is based on the most current trauma research, including poly-vagal theory, sensorimotor therapy, and more. Sisu aims to democratize mental health care by increasing accessibility to vital mental health and relaxation skills. Awesome. Welcome. All right. Share with the listeners before we get going here, Effy, where you're from originally and where you are currently.
Well, yeah, I'm actually originally from Long Beach, and then I went around a little bit, and now I'm back here in Long Beach.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Now, correct me if I'm wrong here, but did you go to Parsons?
I did. Yes.
How was that?
The new school. Yeah.
Cool.
I absolutely love it over there. And I felt really lucky to be a part of their bachelor's psychology program. Yeah, it's just a great one. It has it's very social justice informed over there, and a lot of really great teachers.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So let's dive in here. Give us. Obviously went through it a little bit in the bio, but let's talk about Sisu. Give us the broad overview, and then I want to talk about how you got into this.
Yeah, absolutely. So Sisu is really founded because I was looking for, something that had all of the things that I've learned from doing somatic therapies and all of that in one place. And it's really out there right now is a lot of CBT and meditation focused apps, which are great, but not super accessible to everyone. So Sisu has a little bit of everything. I'm not saying that we don't have CBT or we don't have meditation, but a lot of it is really focused on, finding your own path to relaxation and calm, and not forcing you through a bunch of hoops to, get the relaxation that you need when you need it. So it's for, immediate relief. And there's also some tools for skill building, psychoeducation to kind of get you on the path to building a strong foundation of mental health.
And who's it for?
This is for, it's trauma informed. So it's really important to me as a trauma survivor that it's accessible for other people with trauma, but it really is, it's for anybody that needs it. Right now, our healthcare system, it can be difficult to kind of get the support that we need in all of the ways. And so I wanted, to add Sisu to somebody's repertoire so that they can have more support while they're working on their mental health.
So walk me through it. I would use this if I'm a trauma survivor and I'm feeling particularly anxious one day. I pick it up and I do what?
Right. So say this would happen to me all the time. You go to the grocery store, you start, feeling overwhelmed. There was a trigger there and you're just feeling kind of in the middle of space. You feel so isolated and you're just feeling the symptoms and everything, like the panic starting to set in. So Sisu, you can just open the app. It's super easy to use. You don't have to flip through a lot of pages. It's not confusing. It's meant to be like the panic page is the first page for you. So you can just go there. And if you've used it before, like you'll know where to go. But if not, like the first one is breathing, which is usually, good for a lot of people, but there are other things that you can go through, other exercises, but you can just click on your breathing page and breathe alongside a friendly face. to like help you regulate your nervous system and find some calm. And then if you need more support, you can continue to go through the app, or you can even just easily text a friend through the app. So you don't have to leave the app. You just press a single button like, hey, I need support right now. Somebody can call you, check in, and things like that. So it's meant to be super easy to use. And like, because your cognitive resources are gone when you're starting to get overwhelmed. So it's meant to kind of support you through that process.
Awesome. Awesome. All right. So why did you create this? We talked a little bit about it, but let's get into it.
Yeah, because that grocery store scenario happened to me all the time, and at some point you're just tired. You're just like, I want to be able to go to the grocery store, and it's like I just want, like, my life back. At years like maybe 8 or 9 years ago, like my complex PTSD kind of just like really cracked open. And so I had a lot of onslaught of, like, auditory hallucinations, paranoia, a ton of triggers, and I just had no way to cope with them at all. I was really privileged to be able to see a lot of different therapists and try a lot of different modalities and things like that. But I was still kind of hitting this wall when it came to getting back out there. Like, because of the paranoia, I was so like, I felt so, it was just hard. That was the one thing. And I was doing all of the work in therapy, but just getting back out there, and like they say, like, exposure is what's important. But I felt too unsupported. And you can't always call your therapist when you're trying to pick up your groceries. You can't, so that's why I created Sisu, because I'm like, look, I have all of these tools and I've been really lucky to learn all of them and get them, but like, why can't I access them when I need them the most, And so it all started from like a little purple notebook that I like wrote down everything, because I was like, you know what, I'm fed up. I want my life back. I want this. And so I just wrote everything down, and I was talking to a friend and a couple of friends, and I was like, we would always have a joke like, there's an app for that, and I was like, maybe there is an app for that. So I did a lot of my own research, and there really wasn't the app that I was looking for. There was a lot of like meditation, which is really great, but it's not super accessible to trauma survivors at a certain point in their journey. And also, you're not going to necessarily do a meditation when you're like out and about and you're getting overwhelmed. You need something quick. And some of the other ones are more, it takes longer, that you have to do the app for a long time to get the benefits and things like that. So I wanted to create this app for me and for other people like me.
Wow. I mean, that's, first of all, congratulations on putting an app together, which is, I mean, that's a whole other part of the conversation I want to get to.
Yeah.
But it's interesting to hear you talk about, you felt these symptoms coming up for you, and you said you had access to, a lot of different resources, and they were helping, but nothing was kind of really working in the field, in a sense. Talk more about that. First of all, if I can just say this, at what point did you realize, what, I need some help with what's going on?
You mean with like realizing, like just starting therapy, basically? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I was really raised in a household that like mental health wasn't even a thing, So I like yeah, I had heard about it in passing. I have had some relatives that have had struggles, and it was kind of like, oh, that's like, that's like extreme and like bad. But for me, it got to a point where I was not even close to reality anymore. Like I felt like I could not discern from what were my intrusive thoughts and like paranoia and fear, and then what was reality. And at some point my life just came to a grinding halt. And I couldn't do it. I was like, there's really nowhere to go if I just keep doing this. Like, I was like full on like low functioning. I wasn't able to leave my house. I wasn't able to um you know go to school or any of the things that was told to me, like, this is what you're supposed to do at this age. And so then I was like, you know what, like I have to try something. So that's how I got started.
How many years
And
ago? How many years ago was that?
I think I was around 9 years ago. Yeah, so 22, 9 years ago. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
And you talked about the having experiences with several therapists and so forth. Talk specifically about what you needed, the kind of help you needed or assistance you needed that you feel you didn't there wasn't what you didn't have, which kind of encouraged you to create the app.
Yeah. So for me, it took me a long time to find the right therapist even. And I worked with a lot of really great therapists, but it wasn't until I realized I needed something more trauma focused that I was able to kind of get over a certain hump and like kind of have a realization of like where I needed to go in my healing. I had a really great therapist who was like, okay, like I think like there's some like the trauma at play, like we've got you to a certain space, but like to really grow and like get out of this, like you like need more trauma focus. So I at that point I was convinced. I was like, mental health is so great. So I went to back to school for it. And so I started looking into it, and I found like some good somatic therapists, and I felt really like that really helped me. But at the same time, I was still struggling with community and feeling supported. And I had learned a lot of tools around like, connecting vulnerably and things like that. But it was just, I still didn't feel really like the support
Mm.
in my life. And I know that I had it, but I just didn't feel it. So a part of Sisu is really about keeping you really close to your support system when you need it. So some of it is about developing relationships, and like how to like, like very like basic, like, intimacy and things like that. But a lot of it is like emphasizes this idea of being supported,
Mm.
because you kind of need to like create your own support system, because your therapist gives you all the tools to like create your own support system and feel supported and all of these things. But at some point you need to go out and do it. And um it doesn't feel tangible until it's tangible. So that's why
Mm-hmm.
I created Sisu.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Very cool. So in a sense, the app is helping you do it.
Mhm.
Yeah, I really that became really clear to me when you started talking about it's really there to help you connect to your the vital support system and network that, yeah, a lot of therapists talk about as being crucial thing. But it's another thing to, okay, great, you leave the office, okay, what do I do, how do I do that? um Very cool. I just wanted to tease it out because a lot of people, I mean, this is why we're here. A lot of people are listening to this who've experienced trauma, and obviously therapists, this might be great for therapists to recommend. And I can see how having something as you're describing could be really helpful and comforting, and almost probably even empowering, just to go out to the friggin' grocery store.
Right, right. Yeah. And I think that like um it's just a tool, like everybody's doing their own work and they're like they've got it themselves, but it's just that like extra like little tool that like might just be the thing that like can help them move past the hump as it did for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. So it's one thing to, experience what you did and to go through therapy and go and get on the healing journey. But it's another thing to say, you know what, this is crazy. I've got to do something. I need to create this thing. Right. So you made that jump. How did you make that jump? How are you an engineer? Are you someone who has done this before or what?
I am not. That was my first it was my first thing, but I don't know. I guess through my like healing, a lot of the narratives that have helped me reframe what I've been through is like, well, you've been given this experience for a reason. And a lot of it is like, okay, so what is the reason? And I've been kind of like, I wanted to like, that's why I went into mental health, because I was like, really, um, like I want to give back what I've been given through therapy. But this particular instance, I was like, I don't think I'm alone in this. And I think that there are a lot of people out here that might benefit from it. And then the pandemic happened. And then I was like, okay, like definitely the intersection between mental health and technology is that's where it's at. Yeah. And this could be really, really helpful.
So did you have a background in technology?
I did not know, just in mental health. So I really, it was difficult. I learned a lot of things the hard way, for sure. I still am, in terms of technology and just like, getting it all together. It was a very long process. It was about a year. I went through a couple iterations of the app, and it's of
Mm-hmm.
course still a work in progress, but yeah, I've just been pushing through.
So do you have a company now that's putting this out
Yes, yeah,
you
this is my company right now. We are beta testing the app. So that means that we want people to sign up, tell us what they think, where we can improve, what would be helpful to them, what they liked, what they didn't like, and so we can continue to improve the app and yeah, and grow as a company. Yeah. So
Let me
that's
just remind everyone that I'm speaking with Effy Huck, and we're talking about the app Sisu, which is spelled Sisu. So people can download this right now by going. Is it just for iOS or is it for Android as well, or what? Both.
Yeah, it's on just iOS right now. We're going to eventually have an Android version, but in the App Store, it's SISU. It says Stress Relief Toolkit. It's a green module. There are a couple Sisu apps that I found out later. I was like, oh,
Okay.
popular name. Okay, but yeah, or you can go to sisutheapp.com. Yes, yeah,
Okay. This is what it looks like if you're
that's the
watching the
one.
video
Yeah.
here.
Mhm.
Very cool.
Mhm.
So what is your hope for this app?
Yeah, I mean, I hope this app becomes uh like more of a staple, and really helps people rethink like technology and mental health. I feel like the apps out there right now are very much like, you have to do this, it has to be like, it's app driven, and I really want to introduce like a more user driven experience to finding their own path to mental health. And I hope to build it out as more of a community. Eventually I hope to add on like teachers and therapists and people that can interact and be on the app as well, and have a little bit more of a social
Hmm.
aspect to that. That would be great. Yeah.
Now, when you again, you had said you had experience with several therapists, a lot of therapists, whatever, and the tools were great, but something was missing. If you had to go back again, or even if you're here talking to therapists, what would you like to share to them? What was that missing piece in a sense for you that would have like put you over the edge, that would have helped you in a sense?
Hmm.
What could they have done better or for you? And I realize everyone's different, but
Yeah, I think it's hard to say. Um I think it was hard to conceptualize using them out in the real world. I don't know exactly how to like put that, but I feel like in the therapeutic setting, there was such a divide between life and the therapeutic setting. And it's all well and good, like learning these things, but there is as soon as you step out the office, there is like a big it's like a I don't yeah, like a big jolt, and it's a big
mhm,
barrier, and it's hard to really conceptualize yourself using them out there. And I
mhm,
don't know whether it would just be like I don't know what it is. Yeah.
mhm.
Yeah.
Well, that makes a lot of sense to me, and I think it's I mean, I appreciate you saying that. It's one thing to be sitting in an office, in a quiet office with a therapist, and another thing to go out wherever, if you're shopping or whatever, and to be able to put everything into play, into action. But I've got to tell you, I mean, this is really inspiring. You're really inspiring. I mean, this is why I love doing this podcast, because I get to talk to people like you who, yeah, I mean, you had this experience, and moved through this process such that you're reaching out and created this app to help other people. I mean, how freaking awesome is that?
Thank
Really?
you. Thank you
Yeah.
so much. Yeah.
Yeah. It's amazing. I mean, I um would love to help support you in any way I can. I think what I'd love to do is just put up some, in addition to getting this podcast out there, but you know, put put this out on my Facebook page, just to help you. I mean, I love doing that. So
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Yeah, absolutely.
so all right, Effie, let's keep in touch.
Yeah.
I'd love to have you back and to continue talking about the different iterations that this thing will probably go
Yeah.
through. But
Yeah.
what else I have an idea that you have a lot of plans, and how are things going to unfold for you? How do you see things unfolding for you in your journey here?
Well, right now I am super excited. I'm very much an ideas person. I'm like so excited for the different iterations of the app. But as of right now, I'm really focusing on like the more business side of things and like getting things situated in that side. So a lot of marketing and a lot of like pitching and stuff like that. So that is exciting in itself as well. And that's where it looks like, I'll be doing for a little bit until I get these new versions out. But I'm also
Awesome.
really, really excited to hear from the people that use the app and things like that. Yeah.
Awesome. All right. So how can people reach out to you? What's the best way?
Yes. So there are a couple emails on our website, www.sisu, the app, THEAPP.com, where you can email any questions or anything like that. And you can also join our email list if you want to be notified of, any um, like if we send out questions or anything like that, if you would like. So,
Awesome.
yeah.
All right, Effie, it was great talking to you. Thank you so much. And
Yeah, nice talking to you.
it's inspiring what you're doing.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
All right.
Thank you for offering me your platform to talk about
You're
it.
welcome. You're welcome. All right. Take care.
Appreciate it. Have a great one.
Bye.
It's so nice talking to you. Bye.